ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו שהכל נברא לחיים לברכה. Oh, okay. Good. We are going to start a new mimer. New discourse. L'chaim. That was said 1975. Yeah, 1975. Okay. Andrea, let people in, please. Okay. Begin. Siyam b'mishpat tipad siyain Zion. With judgment, it will be redeemed. Vishabeha, and it's oh, I need to translate Shaveha properly. Those that have been imprisoned and returned through tzedakah, charity. So we have two things here. We have Zion, and we have its captives. We have Zion, we have its captives. We have judgment that goes with Zion, and the captives that goes with charity. So this verse is a verse that's in the beginning of the book of Isaiah. That Isaiah, in Hebrew, Yeshayahu, as its name, so it is. It comes from the word from salvation. As found in the Talmud, that the book of Isaiah is all about comfort. Right? Bringing comfort in a time of needed salvation. Now, even in the matters of the prophecy of Isaiah, Yeshayahu, that seemingly don't seem like salvation, the truth is they are. They're salvation and their comfort. As explained in Kabbalistic literature, how do you understand it if it doesn't, salvation is salvation, comfort is comfort. So it explains there's an idea of sweetening the severities. Right. So in other words, there's something severe and it's being sweetened. In other words, there's something about it that is obviously harsh, difficult, limiting, but that itself is sweetened. which the final salvation, which is the redemption, the final redemption, right, will be this idea of sweetening severities. And that's why in the time to come, in the times of Mashiach, we will call out primarily to Yitzchak, to Isaac. He will be the mainstay, if you will. Today, in the first blessing of the Amidah, we say Magen Avraham, the shield of Abraham. He is the embodiment of kindness. And that's in the world that we live in right now. Is a world that we seek just the kindness from above. Revealed goodness. Times of Mashiach, though, Yitzchak is the main. Right? We'll specifically refer to him as the forefather, right? Not the only, but the, because he is the idea of Gevura, right? He was the opposite of his father. He was the idea of Gevura, strength, refrain, holding back, discernment, right? That's who he is. And in times to come, all of that we'll see the sweetness that's there. That's one of the things it says, that we will praise God for being smitten, because we will see the sweetness in it. Today we feel the pain of when we're smitten, right? When we have something that's not revealed goodness. But in times of Mashiach, that God's presence will be palpable and real and very present. We will then see how the things of the past that we went through, we'll see the sweetness. We'll appreciate the sweetness. So, therefore, so that was sort of all parenthetical about Yitzchak in the time to come. Speaking about the book of Isaiah, though, right, there are salvations that are clear, open kindnesses from heaven. And then there are salvations that are the aspect of sweetening of severities. It's something severe, but there's a sweetness there. Meaning that it's been transformed, the severeness, to something that's sweet, meaning kindness. Which that is greater and more lofty than kindness of its own. So in a similar way, it's also the prophecy in the beginning of the book of Isaiah that there are two types, right? Two types of prophecies. In other words, open, revealed goodness, and then the sweetening of severities. So we see that, in a child and a parent. You give a candy to a child, well, that's revealed kindness and goodness. You step away from the child to remove yourself in order to allow them take their first step. For the child, that seems a bit severe. You've held me till now. You've comforted me, kept me, secure. Now all of a sudden, you are moving away from me, right? That seems severe to the child. But of course, it's an act of true kindness. but you don't appreciate it as a child, right? Until either you take a few steps or to when you grow up and you recognize, oh, that was a real sweetening of the severity. It felt severe, but how sweet that was because in the end, hey, only because of my mom, I'm doing the 4 minute mile, right? L'chaim. So in the book of Isaiah, it concludes with these two ideas, as we will see. Tzion, b'mishpat, Zion, with judgment, it will be redeemed. And shaveha, and um, its incarcerated ones will return bitzedakah with charity, as we will see. Okay, that's the so this verse in Isaiah is very commonly spoken about in Hasidic literature, beginning with the Alter Rebbe, right, the author of the Tanya, 7 generations ago, and all of the Rebbes thereafter. So there's a lot of teachings on this verse from Isaiah. Now, so there's 2 aspects in the verse, right? 2 things. There's Tzion, which means Zion. Well, we translate it as Zion. We'll see what it means, okay? Right. Now, what are we speaking about when we say Zion? Well, in this verse, we're speaking about that it needs redemption, which means it's in exile. Okay. So it's in exile. Exile, what does exile mean? Exile means, actually, which we learned in Tanya yesterday, right? At great length. Exile means that the presence of God is hidden in klipa, in a shell that covers over it. God is not palpably, openly, clearly experienced in your day. That doesn't mean part of your day could be, some of it could be, yeah, the ups and downs of, of life. That's exile. A redemptive state is that there's the presence of God. So here we're saying Zion is in exile and it needs redemption. But it's not incarcerated. It's not imprisoned. It's not enslaved, if you will, right? It's not enslaved. And therefore, all it needs to be redeemed from that state of exile is judgment. Okay? Judgment. Now, the second part of the verse, shaveha, those are returned, those are exiled, those who are incarcerated, they're, if you will, enslaved, held hostage, actually. Shvuyim is the term used here, which is the term for hostage. Those that are held hostage, literally, so they need to be redeemed. How are they going to be redeemed? Through charity specifically. Mishpat, judgment, isn't sufficient. right? You need charity. You need something more. Now, what does it mean? Well, we'll get into this. Yeah. Okay. So what does this mean? What does this mean personally? In me, I have two aspects. I have the Zion in me, and I have the imprisonment, the hostage in me, right? In my divine service. So the neshama of the individual, the soul of the person, which is the mainstay of the individual, as we learn in chapter 32 of Tanya, the heart of Tanya, that the main and the most important thing of the person is not their physical body, their animal soul that animates it, right? But it is your soul, divine soul, which is called, and that's why Adam is called Adam, because it comes from the word Adam al-Elyon, similar to heaven, because it's a piece of heaven. So this neshama, there is the way the soul, right now, of mine, the core of the soul, is beyond being enclosed in my body. We call that the inner heart. But when we say it's beyond, it doesn't mean I don't have access to it. I have access to it. But we say it's beyond because it's not the norm experience, of what I live with, naturally, shall we say, of the soul, naturally of the soul. We're not talking about of the body, right? That's called the inner heart, because the inner heart, we don't get to so easily, as we'll see. We don't touch it so easily, the inner heart. As a matter of fact, yes. Then you have the part of the soul that is enclosed within the body, which is the revealed powers of the soul, which means your intelligence, Chabad, Chachma Bina V'das. It means your emotions, and it means the right, and which is important to appreciate. The core of the soul is not defined by intelligence or emotions. The revealed powers of the soul are 10 powers, 3 intellectual, Chabad, and 7 emotional. Those are what we call revealed powers of the soul. They are enclosed. What does it mean enclosed within the body? It means I have access to it. I can experience it that part of the soul, in a routine manner. So that's called, so to speak, the feet of the soul, right? Meaning the lower level, because it's what I can actualize. His feet bring actualization, right? Bring you to a place. L'chaim. So concerning this is what our verse is speaking about. Tzion b'mishpat ipade Zion. Let's use the Hebrew word. Okay, folks, you go. I hope you're okay with that. Let's just use instead of Zion, because Zion, you'll see, this is what the true Zionist is. It's a different understanding than what people understand Zion. Right, so we'll use the term Zion. Zion goes on the core of the soul, which is the inner heart, right? The core of the soul, which we say is beyond being enclosed. I mean, I have access to it, but I don't have natural access to it. It's not immediately there, or that I actually live with it, right? It's the inner core of my heart. The inner core of my heart, it's not possible for it to be imprisoned. It's not possible for it to be enslaved, right? To be enslaved to otherness, other gods, otherness. It's totally connected to the divine, right? It's totally connected to the divine. However, it's still in Gullus, in exile, right? Meaning, like the son of the king who is imprisoned. Maybe that's not a good idea because that's imprisonment. That's not good. Not imprisoned. Because imprisoned means there's other forces over you, right? You're captors, right? You're hostage, you have captors. So here, the core of the soul doesn't have a captor, but it doesn't have a captor, but that core of my soul, that inner heart of mine, the depths of my heart, it doesn't have a captor, but it's not free either. It's not revealed. I haven't accessed it. It's in exile. I haven't touched it. That's what it means, right? Meaning, meaning it hasn't changed. It's there, but I'm not connected to it. I'm not um, aligned with it, but it doesn't change that part of me, that core of me. On the other hand, the powers of the soul that are enclosed within the body, right, meaning my intelligence, my emotions, and the expression of that through thought, speech, and action, that's possible that it could be imprisoned, incarcerated, it could be held hostage, right? That's being held hostage by my animal soul and my body. It's holding it hostage. That, therefore, needs more than just redeeming it through judgment, is right. Which what that ever means, we'll leave that for the moment. But that needs charity, tzedakah. You want to release that part of me. I have to give charity. Meaning, there's a part of me. Oi, I didn't realize the time. There's a part of me that is, you know, we sense that is sometimes I'm so enslaved that triggers me that those that negative thought pattern is just you know I've lost control of. I'm out of control. My body, my animal soul are holding my godly expression, thought, speech, and action, holding it hostage. The inner core of me won't be held hostage, but you're not aligned